There we go. Today I want to share with you some of the best ways that we have found to save money while RVing, to finding places to stay. So let's talk about some of the top 5 ways that we find ways to save money in places that we stay. So if you're going to talk about saving money while RVing, I mean, you have to start with boondocking, you know, a free way to stay at some amazing places. But sometimes the difficulty can be, how do you find these places? How do you get to these places? And how do you know about them? So and are you willing to go without hookups? Now, I'm going to be straight up and honest with you. I'm a little biased in this area because I'm part of the Campendium team, but I think Campendium is the best way to be able to find some amazing places to go boondocking and to find free camping. So that's my go-to place. I search Campendium. You can see people that have been there before, reviews, pictures, recommendations on what size rigs should and shouldn't be in there from people that have actually been there before. And that's where I like to get my information for boondocking. So the pros that come along with boondocking is, of course, it's going to be free, so you're not spending any money out there. You're usually going to have a little bit more space around your rig. You're not going to feel like you're stacked on top of people like at an RV park. Potentially. So those are 2 huge advantages to boondocking. You're going to be in just stellar, amazing scenery oftentimes. So those are some of the great advantages. There's many more advantages to boondocking, but some of the disadvantages to boondocking are the lack of hookups, obviously. So you need to be set up either with full charged batteries, way for solar, inverter, generator, something like that. If you want power, you need to be self-contained capacity for fresh water, holding tanks for your water. So those are the things that go along with it. So you need to probably plan out a little bit better your rig to have it stocked up and ready for something like boondocking. But these vehicles, these RVs, these trailers, they're really built for that. So why not take advantage of how these things are built and get out and see some amazing places? Now, I love boondocking quite a bit. I love getting out there away from everybody, but my wife has a little bit different take on that. So let's get her thoughts on what she likes about boondocking. What do you like about boondocking?
Not much.
That pretty much sums up her thoughts on boondocking. She likes the full hookup setup. Okay, so maybe boondocking's not your thing, or maybe you don't like staying free at Walmart parking lots or Cabela's, even though I think that's great that businesses do that. Let's move on to tip number 2, which is what we're doing right now is extended stays. So you can get different rates if you stay places longer than getting the nightly rate. So right now we're at an area where we're getting the monthly rate because we stayed here for a month. And it's actually been really cool, and I think it's a great thing to do. There's a few reasons that I like the extended stay option. For one, you're saving money compared to the nightly rate. Like our price for the month is half of the nightly rate. So we're saving basically half off, which is pretty great, pretty amazing. But because we are in the area longer, we've gotten to see the things that we were hoping to see, and then we're getting to see more of the area that we weren't really planning on it, which are some of the amazing things. So that is really cool. The things that you don't plan to see and you weren't really thinking about are some of the amazing places you get to go. So here's a quick tour brought to you by Matt and I of the park we're staying at now. It's got paved RV sites,
A boardwalk,
a pond,
a bridge,
an amphitheater, an enclosure for their indoor pool,
and then an outdoor pool,
pet waste bags,
a marble,
a cone, so it's actually been a fun park and a fun area.
Yes.
This place has one of the most convenient ways to fill your propane. You just set your bottle of propane out there on the curb. They come by, pick it up, fill it up, drop it off, and they they bill you later. So it can't be more convenient than that. But okay, let's move on to number 3. Number 3 and number 4 are going to be the memberships that we have saved the most amount of money. Now I know there's a handful of memberships out there. There's Good Sam, Passport America, Thousand Trails. I mean, the list can go on and on, but we had Good Sam for a while. We didn't really save much, hardly any money at all with them. So the top 2 that we have saved money with, one of the first ones that I like is the Passport America. This one's $50 a year, and it has saved us a ton of money. Now there's some rules and stipulations per park on how long you can stay there, when you can stay there. So those are the things that you kind of have to sift through, but you can go to a park that would normally charge you $40 a night, and you can get it for $20 a night. And those are hard to pass up. So sometimes when we're deciding, going through an area, do we want to stay at a Walmart or do we want to spend $20 to stay somewhere? Sometimes we'll do that. So it's one to save quite a bit of money. I mean, I've had people in line behind me pay full price when I'm paying half price. So that's pretty hard to pass up. So Passport America, check that one out. When you load the app, I love seeing all the pins drop in the state as we're looking for a place. So that is a good one. Now, another one that we've saved a ton of money and people are either love it, hate it, is Thousand Trails. Now, Thousand Trails, you can stay ridiculously cheap inside their park system, and they have, one of the problems is they have so many memberships, it can almost get overwhelming or confusing to know which membership you want or which one you have and what the rules and stipulations are on those. So that can be difficult. Now, the parks, some parks are nice. A lot of them feel like they were nice 20 years ago and they're in need of maintenance, but for the price, it's just about impossible to match to be able to stay in an area for as cheap as you can with 1,000 Trails when you're a member. My recommendation, if you wanted to try the 1,000 Trails, is do a zone pass for a year and see if you like it. It's $500 and you can stay a ton of nights in the system for that price. So see if you like it, see if you want to go for one of the other memberships. It's not everybody's flavor, but I had to make the list because you can save so much money with this membership. So let's move on to our 5th one. Now, the 5th category is going to be state parks, national parks, and if you need to get into a city, we've seen some pretty good discounted rates at fairgrounds. So fairgrounds is going to put you more in the city or kind of near a city, kind of on the outskirts. National parks and state parks, they oftentimes can be cheaper than the private parks that are in that same area, and you're kind of right in the heart of why you're going to that area, why you're wanting to stay in those places. So those are definitely areas where you can save a few bucks and get exactly where you're wanting to be. Now, the issue with some of the national parks is the size requirements for your rig. So if you got a smaller rig, it's not going to be an issue at all. If you have a larger rig, you need to look at those requirements before you book your site, because you might be too large to fit inside that RV park, because not all the national parks are going to be able to fit the size rig that you might have. Well, that's going to wrap up our top 5 list. So if you want to see more videos and more content, please hit that subscribe button. If you want to see more of our family content, hit the subscribe button and head on over and check out that channel. So we will hopefully see you guys in the next video.